What do we make about what the Speaker said yesterday?
Well, I'm not surprised what the Speaker said. I witnessed this incident that took place the other day from my office. It was unpleasant, it was threatening, it was aggressive. But the truth is, the longer you and I are talking about this, in a way, that's what Boris Johnson wants. So,
Why? Why would you want that?
Because I think he wants to continue this debate. I think he's quite happy with this scurrilous rumour being spread around. And actually, what I'd rather be talking about, of course, you can ask whatever you want, but there's a lot going on in the world. We've got high energy prices. We've got the story on NHS waiting lists that was announced yesterday, where people are waiting much longer for treatment. We've got major issues with fraud and crime that we're talking about today. And to be honest, that's what we want to focus on rather than continue the debate about what happened on Monday, unpleasant as it was.
Although, doesn't it reflect for my viewers this morning on the level of where British politics is at the moment in 21st century Britain, when somebody slurs somebody else and won't say sorry?
It does. It is a reflection of that, and tone comes from the top, and the Prime Minister may want to reflect on that, but I don't think he's a very reflective man. So I think he's probably deep down not too unhappy that this is now in its second week or third week or whatever it is. And in terms of its impact on politics, some of that's down to us. We can choose to be distracted by the darker corners of the internet, or we can actually focus on things that affect people's lives. And for my constituents right now, what they're worried about is energy bills going up by £700, NHS waiting lists where people are being told they might have to wait a year or even 2 years for a hip or a knee replacement. These are the issues that for all of us in politics we've got to focus on, not just things that are thrown out there designed to attract as much debate, confrontation and discussion as possible.
And I'll come to those, but I do want to make the point that it's not just the Prime Minister who slurs people. You know, John McDonnell refused to apologise for talking about lynching Esther McVeigh. Angela Rayner eventually apologised for calling the other side Tory scum. Chris Bryant apologised for saying a rude word to Lindsay Hoyle in December, and David Lammy compared the ERG to Nazis.
Well, look, with all of those, if you take the Angela Rayner thing, for example, she made a mistake, and many of us will make mistakes in life. I might make mistakes in life, but it's how we respond to those that matters. And she stood up afterwards and said, I'm sorry, I got this wrong. And that's what people do. And if people reflect on the mistakes and do that, that's one thing. I don't think we'll see that from the Prime Minister, because everything that they've been saying for the last couple of days in Number 10 is they don't feel any shame about this. They're not likely to apologise, and they want to leave it where it is right now. We've all got to reflect on how we talk in politics. There may be a day when I'm in here, Kay, and you're saying you said something wrong, Pat. I hope when that happens, I'll reflect on it and do the right thing. But to be honest, in Prime Minister's questions today, I'll be surprised if the Prime Minister does that.
Yeah, say sorry, you know. Just say sorry, and then everyone can move on. Just hearing that Gillian Keegan, Health Minister, tested positive and carried on with the meeting. Thoughts on that?
Well, I think if you test positive, you should probably go home. I tested this morning. I'm negative.
Yeah, me too.
I've been doing it every day.
Yeah.
You know, I think after 2 years, maybe people are a bit weary of this, and I understand that. But still, if you test positive, best thing to do is go home in line with the rules.
Yeah, hindsight's a wonderful thing, I know. Let's talk about the windfall tax on oil and gas profits. That's what Labour is calling for. We were chatting to the former pensions minister earlier on, Anne Ros-Altman, and she was saying that that could impact, if that happens, that windfall tax, it could impact on the shareholders who are potentially pension funds for pensioners.
Well, these companies are enjoying huge profits. If you look at BP's profits yesterday, about $13 billion. Shell last week, $20 billion. The head of BP described the current market as a cash machine for his company. We think it's only right and fair that when the public is facing bills going up by £700 over the coming year, and they could go up even more in October, that might not be the end of it, that the companies making the most out of this enormous spike in gas prices, pay some contribution to helping out the consumers who pay for these products. We think that's right and fair, and in the light of these products, also affordable.
So we should penalise them for being successful?
I wouldn't say it's penalising them. I think it's about fairness, and the cost of this shouldn't lie entirely with the consumers of gas and electricity. The companies making the most out of this should be asked to pay some contribution towards it. It would actually be a small proportion of their profits. But right now, they're not being asked to pay a penny extra despite these enormous rises in prices that consumers are feeling.
OK, good to talk to you as always. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.